The 1919 World Series between the Chicago White Sox and Cincinnati Reds is best known for the gambling scandal that resulted in the lifetime banishment of 8 White Sox players, including outfielder shoeless Joe Jackson. But for this video, I want to focus on a British newsreel of the series. It's what you're looking at right now, and discuss what it says about technology, social norms, and life in the United States. In 1919, movie theaters showed newsreels to audiences as both a source of information and entertainment. Much of what we see in this 4-minute newsreel is recognizable. A large crowd reacts excitedly to what's happening, and you have the field's unchanged dimensions. But some of what we see documents the transition from one era to another. For instance, a series of loudspeakers hang down from the grandstands in Chicago while spectators below smoke. Just a few years earlier, these cone-shaped contraptions had become commercially available, and White Sox owner Charles Comisky was the first owner in Major League Baseball to install these devices throughout his ballpark. Electrified loudspeakers were used to make announcements, play music, and Comisky famously said, "The day of the megaphone man has passed." In truth, megaphone men and women would inhabit ballparks for years to come, but it is true enough. The age of the public address system had arrived. Americans living in New York or Los Angeles could not see the World Series live in 1919, but they could watch a remote scoreboard like this one, while news of the play-by-play action was delivered to scoreboard operators via telegraph. Such an experience was not new. As far back as the 1880s, some opera houses used telegraph communications to perform baseball games as they occurred. In these venues, young boys wearing baseball uniforms might reproduce the action on a stage for the audience. In 1919, electrified scoreboards with lights and moving players could be found everywhere in the country, although radio broadcasts would soon displace this uniquely American form of entertainment. Let's go back inside of the stadium. Spectators wave their hats and programs with excitement. Nearly everyone has a hat on for protection from the sun during an era of day games in plentiful sunshine. One noticeable difference from our time is the lack of a covered dugout. Relief pitchers warm up on the field itself, there's no bullpen, and no covered dugout means that there's less physical or audible separation between the players and the crowd. If you wanted to yell something at a player, they could hear you. One of the most interesting parts of the newsreel is the bird's eye view of Comisky Park, thanks to Pathe News sending a cameraman into the sky for an airplane flyover of the stadium. Just 15 years earlier, the first powered flight had occurred, and since then, the aviation industry had advanced rapidly due to the demands of World War I. In 1919, major cities possessed civilian airports, and it was becoming more common to see airplanes buzzing overhead, although a flyover like this one surely produced oohs and ahs from the crowd. Jet flyovers still do. Some things don't change. The first president of the National League, William Holbert, pictured left, banished star pitcher Jim Devlin, pictured right, from organized baseball in 1877. Devlin's sin was taking money from gamblers to throw games, while a player on the Louisville Grays. Fixing sporting contests for monetary gain, however, did not go away in 1877. Professional athletes periodically consorted with organized criminal groups, and rumors of players throwing the 1914 World Series circulated widely. In truth, the possibility of some baseball players or even entire teams not being on the level had dogged Major League Baseball since its inception. As it turns out, members of the Chicago White Sox did in fact throw the 1919 World Series. That story, the story of first baseman Chick Gondel and pitcher Eddie Cicotti approaching East Coast bookmakers about a conspiracy to fix the World Series alongside a group of teammates, is not the subject of this video, especially since there is controversy surrounding what happened, who was involved, how it went down, and more than one Hollywood movie about its characters. So we'll leave that topic for another time. What we can say is that baseball owners in 1920 agreed to appoint Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis Commissioner of Baseball and afford him broad powers to deal with dishonest players. So, footage of the 1919 World Series is a snapshot of transition. Electronic scoreboards would soon give way to radio broadcasts. Public address systems, commercial airline traffic, and night baseball were not far away. In 1920, umpires received instructions to replace dirty baseballs with clean, livelier ones after the tragic death of Ray Chapman, who was hit by a pitch and died the next day. The same year, Kennesaw Mountain Landis assumed new powers as Commissioner of Baseball, and Babe Ruth, who hit 54 home runs that year, fascinated the public with his unrivaled power. The dead ball era was over, and the live ball era had begun. Hey, let me know what you think of this video. What are some of the other major turning points in baseball history or periods of transition? And thanks for watching.